Alfa Romeo, how are we doing? We've just come back off a week 7 F1 Clash Community Championship, and you haven't seen the results video just yet. Spoiler alert, Alfa Romeo took P1 this week, just beating Alpine, who were back in P2. So great result for us, a good 700 points or so ahead as well. So we've got to carry that into this week. Current standings, we are ahead, 14 points, 2 races to go, 2 weeks to go. But if we come second twice and Alpine come first twice, we will tie P1. But we do not want that. Team Alfa Romeo, we keep this in our own hands. There will be no ties. We will win outright by ourselves. I want you to take F1 Clash Community Championship glory for Alfa Romeo. So this week, we need to do the same as we did last week. We need to go P54 champs, P4 contenders, or better result. We are going to have people lower than that, but if the majority of our players are achieving good results, then our median score will be somewhere in that range. So that's what we need to do. We need to keep pushing harder, aim bigger, and we can get more points. Simple as that. And we've got to do it because we've only got 2 weeks left. It's time to win it. Can we? Can we do it? So that brings us on nicely to this week, week 8. We've got an interesting event coming up as well. So we've got the Aston Martin team event. So all epics, rares and commons of Aston Martin drivers will be boosted by 10%. Now, 10% Alonso, 10% Stroll. So if you've got them, great. If not, you could potentially unlock them. But make sure to check your commons and rares, because if your commons and rares are high level, it might be better than your epic. So it's really key to go and give that a check. So we're coming into qualifying for this event, and we want to get off on a strong foot. We need you to be entering as high division as you can, champs or contender. Contender if you're going to get a top finish. And it's time to step up again. Let's do it. And let's enter with P1 in sight in this tournament. We're going to look at tracks for qualifying first, and then the strategy guide for opening round and final round will be out on Friday. So let's look at the tracks we've got. We've got Melbourne up first, and it's got a chance of rain, 12%. So that could be very interesting because the wet is a bit easier than the hard. Depends on where you're running from. We've got Montreal as race number 2. So it could be very interesting for race number 2. 28% chance of rain with that one. We've got Sao Paulo with race number 3. 9 laps, remember, 0% chance of rain there. And then we finish with Baku. Baku holding 7 laps, 10% rain. So it could be very interesting which way this goes. We need a strong start. Let's get these points buried in there as well. And let's see what happens with it. I should check in to see if any tracks from qualifying are in the opening round, and they are not. So it'll be the only time we race these tracks this week. So let's give it a go. Let's go into the strategies, see what we can do, and then let's give it our all as Alfa Romeo go and hunt P number 1. So starting with the strategies for your qualifying round. And remember, qualifying is random on a Wednesday. On Thursday, you are grouped with your flag players. So your flag range you will be grouped with, and anybody who enters who hasn't before. And then on Friday, you're sort of looking at that, anyone who's entered and potentially a bit of a mix. So you want to be qualifying as soon as you can. Wednesday, or if not, Thursday will be your easiest day. So let's look at these strategies for the Aston Martin team event. And we've got Australia up first. 2 strategies, dry and wet. And obviously there's a small percentage chance, so we have to take that in account. Copper and Herald are your boosts. We've got 3 soft, 2 soft for driver 1, and a 4 medium for driver 2. Race start, very important. You can gain a lot of positions in the dry and the wet, so it's key to do that. And on the mediums, you can't push too much, but it saves you stacking your drivers. In the wet, the front half of the field will pit lap 5 and the back half of the field pit lap 4. So if it's raining, you want to make sure that you are ahead of the split of the field. And if you are, you can get in, get out, have a fast out lap, and you can undercut some of the cars ahead. That is a very big strategy if you follow it well. We then move on to Canada. Also a wet chance round here. And it's similar to Australia. We're going to 3-3-2 and a 4 medium, 4 medium. Same sort of boosts. And then we go to the wet. And first of all, to call out, you can do a 5 hard, 3 soft for a driver. Just a bit slower on the hard. But I prefer to do that 3-3-2 and 4-4. In the wet, expecting the AI to pit around lap 5. So 4 wet, 4 wet. And a 3 wet, 5 wet is the key to go round Canada. Brazil, race number 3. 3 soft, 3 soft, 3 soft. You've just had this race at the weekend, so you should be familiar with this now. And then our second strategy for driver 2 comes from a 4 medium, 5 hard. So you should be very familiar with how Brazil now works. Race 4, Baku. Also had recently 2 soft, 2 soft, 3 medium, and a 3 medium, 2 soft, 2 soft is my go-to strategy. Cupper and Herald. And then in the wet, 1 stop is key. All the AI will tend to pit lap 4, so you want to be in earlier than that. That's why we recommend front running a 4 wet, 3 wet and a rear running 3 wet, 4 wet. Both drivers in that P13 to P24 will be starting on the 3 wet, 4 wet. But there's a thing. Because they're all pitting lap 4, it's hard for you to do 4 laps on the wets. So you can't push too hard. Now, if you can't do a 3 wet, 4 wet with both, you might want to consider doing a 2 wet, 3 wet, 2 wet. It is a lot slower, but you don't get caught in the pits. You can do a big undercut. You might have more power unit to use. Highly recommend that you give that a go. I would try though and do a 3 wet, 4 wet on both drivers and really focus to create that gap. That is key at Baku. They are your 4 races. Let me know down below whether or not these strategies help you, and fingers crossed you can put in an epic performance and bring Alfa Romeo some more success at the weekend. It's been great working with all you Alfa Romeo members, and let's keep it strong, keep it close, and let's finally deliver the performances. Alfa Romeo, let's finish this off in week number 8.